Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing a pickups video. Picked up quite a lot of bits and bobs over the last couple of months, so this will be pickups for March and April this year. Yeah, got quite a variety of stuff, some games, a peripheral, some vintage paperwork, which is quite cool, a couple of movies, some music, and even a couple of toys to show at the end, a couple of vintage toys. So yeah, hopefully something of interest for quite a few folk at least. So cheers everyone, happy Sunday, happy Easter. Easter Sunday today, so I hope you all had some nice chalky Easter eggs. And I'm just drinking a Exmoor Ale, Exmoor Gold. I used to work for Exmoor Ales many years ago, and Exmoor Gold I used to brew quite a lot. This is the original single malt golden ale, and a very nice classic beer it is too. So yeah, I do still enjoy that one. So I've got Dave playing in the background there. Dave plays retro games badly, so good to see another video from him. While I'm at it, while I'm talking about Dave, shout out to a couple of new channels I've recently discovered. One of them is called Retro Kevo. Yeah, another sort of more vintagey style retro games, or old school. So you don't get too many of those channels these days, so it's nice to discover that one. Really good channel. Charismatic guy, so yeah, tune into him. I'll put a link to Dave and these other two channels down below. And the last one, it's something Goblin. Might be Retro Goblin or Goblin Gaming, one or the other. But again, nice guy. Yeah, very nice sort of chilled channel. He seems to be putting quite a lot of content up, and yeah, good new channel. So pop over and give them some support. I'll put links down below for those. But anyway, let's kick off with the games. So these first games I picked up from the US. The first three I'm going to show were all from Arcade Shopper. It's about the only place that still sells TR99 games, to be honest. But yeah, the first one is a game called Astro Smash for the TR99. This one was done for the Italian User Club. Comes in this special box. Really nice package. I think they did this about 3 years ago, I think. But yeah, you've got all sorts of little goodies there. I don't know how well this is going to focus in. But it came with custom gift wrap, because I think it released around Christmas time, maybe 3 years ago. And yeah, there's the site there. TR99 Italian User Club. I think the guy is called, is it Ciro? I think he's called. And you had a couple of labels for the game, which is quite nice. That's the more classic one. I used the other label for the cartridge, which I'll show you in a sec. But yeah, nice to have so many goodies in a TR99 homebrew, because generally speaking, if you get TR99 homebrew, it's just a cartridge only. So that's the outer box, and it also came with a custom booklet, which you have to use your own box for. So this is one of my original TR99 game boxes, which I repurposed for this. So there we go, Super Astro Smash. I think this started out as a Intellivision game, but yeah, this is a homebrew one. I think there were only 50 copies of this made, so yeah, I jumped at the chance of getting it. I'd never heard of it before, but yeah, I thought it'd be nice to add to the collection, which it has been. So that's the box. Now, the pressure's on because I've got the Stack Master behind me, and my stacking skills aren't that great. But anyway, there is a cartridge. That's the label that I used, the more sort of modern one with the yellow writing. Yeah, really cool game. You've got two versions on here. You've got the original Intellivision version, and also a more modern sort of recreation of it. Hopefully I'll have some gameplay playing. I've got gameplay of most of these games, which I've already done, so I'll try and put that up in a corner. I do enjoy it. I'm not familiar with Astro Smash. I think James Retro Import Gamer, I think he likes this game, but I'm not familiar with it. If I've got a criticism of it, it lacks a bit of challenge. You can play it for quite a long time and without really losing a life. So yeah, it's not a very challenging game. I wish you could have a difficulty setting at the beginning. That would be quite cool. But regardless, really happy to have it, and a good little game to add to the little TR99 collection that I've got. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. It's Dave. It's the pressures of Dave behind me. But you know what? I'm going to leave that in the video because it's all part of it. So it's looking precarious. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that one there. Let's give it some stability. Right. And these next two are both Milton Bradley games. So the same company that did the Bigfoot game, which I showed recently on a TR99. And similarly, These are also, I'm pretty sure these are both also TR99 exclusives. And to me, they could have easily been multi-plat because they're both really good games. I've got some gameplay video of both of these, so I'll hopefully put it in the corner if I remember to afterwards. The first one is called Superfly. These two I got for a good price actually. They were $25 each. And they're certainly in the UK, they're very hard to find games. I don't think they released over here. So yeah, to get them for that price, I was chuffed a bit. Superfly, it's kind of a little bit like Robotron, I suppose. All of these Milton Bradley games were designed around the MBX system, which was a sort of peripheral add-on for TR99. It had its unique joystick and everything. I've never seen it in person, that thing. Again, I don't think that came out in the UK. But apparently you can play Superfly a bit like a twin stick. So you can be moving in one direction, and I think it had like a little rotating thing on the top, so you could be shooting in the opposite direction. But they still work with a regular joystick and really good fun. So yeah, that's Superfly. You control a fly. You're shooting at spiders, and they lay eggs which turn into little worms. Both of these games use a speech synth, so hopefully you'll be able to hear that. But yeah, good games. Now, that feels quite stable, so I'll balance that there. And the next one is called Space Bandits. Another really good game. Not something I've come across before, but yeah, really good fun. Kind of like a bit of a maze shooter, I suppose. But again, should be some gameplay playing. You've got to go around, shoot the enemies. Your bullets travel quite far, but so do the enemy ones. So it starts off very easy. But once you get a few levels in, you've got to really concentrate to see where the bullets are coming at you. You can easily just walk in a line of one of the bullets that comes around a maze. And you've also got to collect the stuff that's littered around as well. I don't know what those things are that you're collecting because I haven't got the instructions for it. But yeah, really good game, that one. So, chuffed a bits with all three of those. All feel quite stable. So we've got the foundations built now. Right. Next, I'll show you a bit more TR99. This one also came from the US. This was on eBay, and it's something I've been after for a long time actually, but it's getting harder and harder to find it. I don't know how to pronounce this company. I always call it Wico, but I think it might be Wico. But it's a command control trackball for the TR99. And this one, it looks exactly the same as the Atari version, but there's a difference. This one, it has a separate power adapter. Because the Atari one, it draws power from the joystick port, but the TR99 version won't. So you can see it's got the TI written there. The only trouble is, I've got a US power adapter that came with it, which I could use if I used a step-down converter, of course, but I'm hoping to get a UK power adapter for it. Now I've got an Argos multi-adapter thing, but none of them fit in there and power it. They're a different shape. It's almost like a sort of a headphone socket thing that goes in there. So if anybody's, I don't think there's many UK TR99 users that tune into my videos, but if you know of a suitable power adapter for it for the UK, I'd really appreciate if you could pop it in comments, because I haven't actually used that yet. Doesn't work with many games. I think it works with Barrage, Centipede, and maybe a couple of others. But I really like Barrage, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get to try that soon. So that's that. And this last lot all came from somebody on Facebook Marketplace. Apart from this first one. This one, I'm showing this just because I forgot to show it last time. And it's also Intrigue software. So that one's called Shuttle Attack. This I got about 3 months ago. It's a clone of something else, but I can't remember what the game is called. But you start off in like a little aircraft hangar. You've got to fly out of there. And then you've got some sort of space battles in that. But I'm showing it just because these other two are also Intrigue software. So I'll probably do a video at some point of all of these games. So these came from Facebook Marketplace. And this one is called Pentathlon. Kind of like a Daley Thompson's Decathlon style game, I suppose. Not as good as that, but quite good. I'm just nervous about playing these games these days because back in the day I killed a lot of joysticks on these types of games, and I don't want to ruin my joystick or keyboard. So it's nice to have it in a collection, but I'm not going to play that one much. But this last one, which is the main one I wanted from this seller, never seen this for sale before. So it's also Intrigue software, and it's called Quasimodo. And you're probably already guessed from looking at the image there that this is a clone of Hunchback, the arcade game. And it's actually really impressive. For TI-99 basic software, I would say this has been the most I've been impressed with a TI-99 basic cassette game so far. Really good. It's got 20 levels on there. I've only managed to get through about 4 of them. It is quite hard, but really good. Very impressed with that. So chuffed a bit to get that in my collection. So that's it for TI-99 stuff. Oh no. Same place I got those 2 cassettes from. I also got all this paperwork from Parco Electrics. This is where we bought all of our TI-99 stuff from in Honiton. So when I saw he also had this, I said, can I buy those cassettes and also this paperwork? So I got the cassettes and the paperwork all for 50 quid, which I think was quite a good price. And I love this. I love all this stuff. So yeah, you've got all prices and everything in here. So for instance, just to give you a quick look, if anybody wants to see more of this, pop it in the comments. I can do maybe a short or something. But yeah, this is from spring 1986 price list. So you've got your various things in there. There's your Atari cartridges, look. So Picnic Paranoia is the cheapest. That's $9.95, I think it is. Yeah, $9.95. And you've got Defender, Donkey Kong, Ms. Pac-Man, Shamus. They're £15 each, which wasn't bad prices, really. I mean, we owned most of this stuff, really, by the time we'd finished with the TI-99. We had the TI-99 from either 1982 or 83 up until 87. That's when I bought my Specky. And yeah, there's some more games there, look. So what have we got in here? Got the likes of Munchman was $9.75, Moon Mine $12.50, Parsec £12.50, Car Wars $9.75, Burger Time $14.95. We had all of those. Looking at these, Bigfoot was £17.50. That was quite an expensive game. But yeah, I got my money's worth out of that one. I loved that game. But yeah, we had most of these games here. And actually, I'm just looking at this now. The only Milton Bradley one I can see is Bigfoot. So that would explain why I wasn't familiar with Space Bandits and Superfly. Because I think I mentioned I don't think they sold those here. But yeah, really cool to see. That's Parco's own cassette software there with their prices. We never owned any of the cassette software on the TI-99 back in the day. But very cool to have all this stuff. And there we go, TI-99 home computer, 85 quid. There we are, look. So that's probably about what my parents would have paid for it, I expect. I mean, that's 86. It might have been a bit more expensive when they bought it. But yeah, very nice stuff to have. So that's that. So then we'll move on to a bit of Specky. The first one, there's been a homebrew release of I think it's a game with the same title and the same artwork, but it's not one I'd seen before. This is by Atlantis. It was a budget game, £1.99. A Crossfire. Again, hopefully I've got a bit of gameplay footage showing in the corner of this. So yeah, quite a basic little game. Not one for, it looks like a light gun game, but it only used joystick or keyboard. But fairly good fun. I'd have definitely been happy with this game if I bought it back in the day for 2 quid. Yeah, very good. So that's that one. And the other Specky game I bought, both of these I only paid a couple of quid for. I bought both of these on Sinclair for Sale on Facebook. And I think I paid £2.50 posted for that one and £3.50 posted for this one. And this is, I was trying to remember which horse racing game I used to have on a Specky, and it was this one, Derby Day. Yeah, me and my best mate used to play this quite a bit. Good fun. You just put your bets on the horses basically and watch a horse race. But yeah, good fun. There's some good humour in that in here. I have since discovered an even better horse racing game on a BBC Micro, which I'm going to do a video of at some point. That's brilliant. If I'd had that game back in the day, I'd have loved it. But anyway, that's my Specky stuff. So, BBC Micro discs. These 3 I bought all from the same seller. This particular one I'm going to show first. I've got a bit of gameplay of 2 of these. The third one doesn't work, unfortunately. This one was still sealed, actually. Never been opened. So that is called War. It's by Martech Software. So you're probably going to guess it's not a very good game, because Martech, they tended to be quite budget and sort of crude games. And It's quite strange actually because it looks much more like a ZX Spectrum game. It's monochrome, so not really any colour use, and a very strangely small screen, playing screen. But nonetheless, it's quite good. I quite like the game actually. So yeah, I'm pleased to have it. It's not sealed anymore, and the disc is obviously that's in the BBC Micro at the moment. But you've got your little instruction sheet and that in there. So that's that one. And this game is one I've been wanting for quite a while because it's really good on a Beeb. I've got it on the arcade one-up with the trackball, so that's the best way to play it. But nonetheless, the BBC Micro version of this was a really good game, and that's Crystal Castles. Hugely underrated game, I think, this one. You don't really hear people talk about this game very much, but yeah, I love it. I love Crystal Castles. And yeah, if you haven't played it before and you've got a Beeb, definitely give it a go because it's a great game. And then the third one, which sadly doesn't work, just doesn't load the disc. So whether it'll work on a BBC Model B, I don't know. I've got a BBC Master, which can be a bit fussy about some games. That's called Starfleet Encounter. So yeah, nice booklet, and you've got your little gubbins and that inside, but it just doesn't load for me. So they did say I could return it, but the time I lose out on postage and everything, it's not really worth it. So that's all of the games done. I need some refreshments here. So next couple of films. This particular VHS, I'd seen somebody else talking about it recently. Now, was it James Retro Import Gamer or was it Mike's Shed or somebody else? I can't remember. But anyway, Jewel. Good film this was. Steven Spielberg, 1972. But yeah, one of those sort of, it's kind of drawn out. It's one of those sort of slow building tension films, but quite good. I used to like this. And when whoever it was that were talking about it, I thought, yeah, you know what, I wouldn't mind watching that again. And I put eBay on, and this was just finishing on VHS. I think I got it for like £3, £3 postage, I think it was. So yeah, I haven't rewatched it yet, but I'm quite looking forward to watching that, maybe even later. And the other one, which is a 4K Blu-ray. Well, I say 4K, you've got your Blu-ray as well. So this is Godzilla vs. Biollante, or Biollante, however it's supposed to be pronounced. Fairly new film to me. I picked this up fairly recently on VHS. Really enjoyed it. It's I think it's 1989, this one. Yeah, 89. See, I'm not so familiar with that era of Godzilla. I mean, it was really what I grew up with was the Showa era. That's the films I used to watch the most of Godzilla. But seems like there's some really good stuff from this period, and this is one of them. So yeah, that's a recent release. It's 30 quid on 4K. Well, I think it's £20 on Blu-ray, but I do highly recommend it. Really good film. So that's that one. It's working so far. So then I've just got some music to show and then a couple of toys. So the first of the music I'm going to show is a group called The Sundays. Reading, Writing and Arithmetic. This is an absolutely fantastic album. Harriet Wheeler, that was a singer. I discovered this band because at the time my sister's boyfriend came around. They'd just released this album and he'd just bought it. And he said, "Oh, do you mind if I put this new album on that I've just bought?" And we all said, "Yeah, that's fine." And I absolutely loved it. And he left that album in our house for about a week. And I played the hell out of it. I absolutely loved this album. So then when he took it away, I thought, right, I've got to buy that. So I did. And I bought it on cassette, so it had to be cassette again. But yeah, they did release another 2 albums, but this was always a one for me. The first album, debut album. Absolutely brilliant album. So highly recommend that if anybody hasn't heard of the band. And the other one is Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. This was my introduction to Black Sabbath back in the day. My parents had this album on cassette, but yeah, we used to listen to this a lot. And then from there, I then got into earlier Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne, and from then on, I think I bought all of Ozzy's albums. I love the Ozzy Osbourne stuff, but nonetheless, this is great. It really, really is good. Yeah, Ronnie James Dio, fantastic vocalist. So yeah, I went into HMV. They had that there for £9, and it's also got a live at Hartford Civic Centre. I haven't listened to that yet. So yeah, it's a 2-disc jobby. But for £9, you know, I was going to get the cassette, but I thought I'll buy the CD for that money. Really good. That's my CD purchase. So the last two are, as James would say, I found another rabbit hole. It's not going to be a deep rabbit hole because I only plan to buy the toys which I remember owning of this brand. I don't really remember many toys I used to own, to be honest. I used to have a lot of the Star Wars stuff, which I don't plan on rebuying. I used to have some He-Man stuff, which I don't plan on rebuying. But a lot of the toys people talk about, you know, your sort of Transformers and that, I don't think I owned any of that. But something I did have a lot of was the little die-cast Corgi toys. And I saw one it popped up on my Facebook page, a picture of these little Corgi toys, and I thought, oh my god, I remember those. And when I looked on eBay, some of them you can still get them carded for not bad money. I don't want the remakes, I want the original ones, but I also don't want to get them used, if you know what I mean. I want to get them on the cards so I can hang them, just for pure nostalgia. So yeah, these they used to be really cheap back in the day. I think they were something like 30 or 50 pence. And loads of places used to sell them. You know, your likes of Woolworths, WH Smiths and other little stores. I think sometimes you would even find them in pharmacies and things like that. But I used to quite often get these. If I'd been good for a while and I was out with my mum and I saw them, I'd pick one up and say, oh, you know, can I have that? I've been good. And if I had been good, she would get me them. So yeah, the first one I clearly remember having was this one, the Moonraker Space Shuttle. Yeah, I used to love that thing. And I got this on eBay, £25 delivered I paid for that, on the card, unopened. Yeah, I'm chuffed to bits to have that. So I've already got a plan where I'm going to hang these. But there's only about 5 I want to get, because like I said, I don't want to get just random ones. I'm only interested in buying the ones I distinctly remember. So I had a lot of just random little cars, but with those I just can't remember which cars I had. But yeah, like the little Moonraker one, there's some I can distinctly remember. So that's that one. And a second one I got from the same seller, which was also £25 delivered. Well, it was when I put my offer in. The Starship Enterprise from the Star Trek original series. I'm not really into Star Trek apart from the original series. I used to love the original series, watched this over and over, and I can still watch it now and really enjoy it. But the sort of other Star Treks that came after, I don't know, I just can't get into those. But yes, I had this little Enterprise. I can remember it clearly, loving it. So when I saw that on a card, I thought, you know what, I've got to have it. So yes, I plan to get probably about another 3 or 4 of these. I won't mention which ones. But yeah, you'll see those hopefully as it goes. They're something you've just got to keep your eye out and get them at the right time, really, because a lot of sellers are after about 60 quid for these things. But if you bide your time, you seem to be able to find them for about sort of 25 or 30. But yeah, there we go, another rabbit hole. And that brings me to the end of the video. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope there was something for everybody. I might have bored everybody to tears, who knows. But yeah. Next week is Swap Shop, so tune in to Retro Chef for that one. I'll give Retro Chef a shout out as well, because he always wants a shout out. So yeah, Retro Chef, there's your shout out, mate. Swap Shop, that'll be on about 8 o'clock, I think, next Sunday. And also next week I'm hoping to go to the Continue Arcade, which is a new retro arcade in Taunton. So I'm planning on doing a little visit in there. Might even film some stuff. I say kind of retro because it's not vintage cabs in there, I don't think, unfortunately, or very few of. I think most of them are sort of more modern equivalents, but nonetheless, it should be a good day out, and hopefully going in with a friend of mine. So yeah, I'll do a video of that, all being well, and that's it for now. So yeah, hopefully that isn't too long a video. I've probably rambled on for about half an hour there, but anyway, those that did stick with me, thanks so much for tuning in and watching. I'll catch you another time. And that is all.